right, before we get into today's episode, today's topic, Kate, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever completed meals fromage montage?
No.
Well, so a meals fromage montage is part of the Food and Wine Festival at EPCOT. You have to eat cheese 5 different ways to collect stamps. And if you succeed in eating this much cheese, you get a prize. And let me tell
Is
you, the
is it
prize,
more cheese?
kind of, yeah. The prize is this amazing, here's maybe hot take number one of the day. This amazing plastic cup filled with, yes, cheese a sixth way. It's great. It can stack in other cups. It's great for drinking wine by the pool. Don't put it in the dishwasher. That's why I don't have a matching set anymore. It'll totally melt. But yes, if you want to take on the challenge of eating so much cheese on a hot, hot day in Florida, this cup can be all yours.
So I've done that at the Festival of the Arts one. I didn't know what it was called, but I have a similar cup that says Festival of the Arts. So I should have brought mine. But yeah, I have done that.
Playing it by ears. By ears.
Welcome back to Play It By Ears podcast. I'm Leanne.
And I'm Kate. And today's episode is all about our favorite events at our favorite park, EPCOT festivals.
Let's get into it.
First things first, let's talk about the ears. So these are my food and wine ears. I remember 2022. What a hot year. I mean, they're all hot. That festival is the hottest festival, especially when you talk about cheese. I'll always eat cheese, but man, it is so hard to eat cheese when it is like 95 degrees out in Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially, I'm so happy that they renamed the cheese dip at the Ireland stand cheese soup because I was consuming it like soup. So now I feel validated.
Yes, it's not just like queso, it's like actual soup.
What about your shirt? Do you have a fun shirt?
So this shirt I'm probably going to wear a bunch of times just because it's repping us. It is the Play It By Ears podcast first merch with our faces on
Awesome.
it. Yeah, I'm very excited to be repping it. So yeah, it's exciting.
Great.
What about you? What are you wearing?
Well, so I always buy a pin at the festival, but I guess I don't really buy clothes. So instead, I'm wearing my Three Caballeros, margaritas, por favor, because when I think festival, I think of the Mexico Pavilion, which is my favorite pavilion in Epcot. I
Mm-hmm.
think like I never skip the Mexico food outdoor kitchen. It always has the best food and the best drinks. Although, like, wow, hot take number two, and we're only like 5 minutes in. I think that the cocktails are becoming way too sweet. Like, I don't know how I could get a mezcal cocktail and feel like it's too sweet. I actually, the last time I went to a festival, one of the drinks I ordered, I ended up pouring out. And
Oh no.
someone saw me doing it and they're like, oh God, we're in trouble now. I was like, no, 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 it's just too sweet. So that's my
Yeah.
second hot take. Love, love, love Epcot festivals, which the drinks weren't so, so sweet.
Yeah. So I feel like, spoiler alert on this, I am probably going to be bad cop when it comes to this episode, and you'll be good cop because I feel like I have some controversial takes on the festivals in general and just like which one's my favorite, all those things. We're going to get into it. But before we do, I have some sad news. I decided to let my annual pass end officially. It ended like a few days ago. I know we talked about this before, but just with everything, I think I'm probably going to take 6 months off, maybe 8 months off with my daughter, give her just a little bit more time to get bigger, be able to sleep with us instead of having me separate. It just makes it easier, travel easier. So figured take a year off, maybe go once or twice, but not like 8 times to make it worth it. And then we'll revisit when she's a little bit older. So
I was gonna say, I'm gonna put money down right now that you
yeah.
can't last 6 to 8 months, and I love how you threw in. Well, maybe I'll go once.
Yeah, well, the thing is like right now, the only thing we have on our list is the Disney cruise in January for her birthday. So I'm hoping we can hold out till then. We're going to Universal, not with her, but we're going to Universal in September. So I have something theme park planned, but nothing Disney. I agree. We'll see how long it lasts. I get the itch very fast.
Yeah, totally. I get it.
And then on a positive note, I did just attend the Flower and Garden Festival, have some thoughts. I was sick. I think I told you I had like a stomach flu. Our daughter gave it to us first. We got it during the festival. I didn't even really eat any of the festival food because I couldn't really keep anything down. So I don't have news and thoughts to report on this year's food and stuff, but I did get to enjoy all the topiaries and the gardens and flowers and thought those were beautiful.
At EPCOT, there are 4 international festivals every year. So they're mostly set up in the World Pavilion, the World Showcase, but they kind of bleed into other parts of the park as well. And so those 4 festivals are the Festival of the Arts, the Flower and Garden Festival, the Food and Wine Festival, and the Festival of the Holidays. There are probably 6-ish weeks in the whole year that EPCOT isn't having a festival. So if
Crazy.
you're planning a trip to EPCOT, I definitely recommend that you look at the EPCOT. There's an EPCOT specific website. It talks about the festivals. It gives the dates for the upcoming 1 or 2 festivals. Don't miss it. Don't end up being there the 1 week that they don't have a festival.
So fair. Okay, so that's what festivals are, but we do have some rapid fire FAQs that I'll have you kind of dive in to make sure all the details are not left out. So the first one is a lot of people think this potentially could be a separate ticket event or cost extra in addition to your park ticket at Epcot. So is that true?
No, it is included with the entrance of your ticket entrance into EPCOT.
And what days do these run on?
Each festival is every day of the week that they're offered. The
Okay.
art festival is mid-January to mid-February, so only about a month. The Flower and Garden Festival is more popular. It runs March through May. The Food and Wine Festival is probably the most popular, and that runs September through November. And then the Holiday Festival ends the year running in December. Again, it's a shorter one. Like I said, during those periods, the festival is every day, but the food stands, the number one draw of the festival, typically open at 11. So keep that in mind. This is, have breakfast somewhere else, but then come hungry because the best part is eating all the food.
So we mentioned the Flower and Garden Festival just happened. I believe it's concluded or about to conclude. The next one is Food and Wine, and they just released the dates for this year. It runs from August 27th through November 21st. That's the longest one, the hottest and the longest. So you mentioned it's called an international festival. Why is that?
The World Showcase at Epcot has 11 countries, I believe. And so every country will participate in this festival by having an outdoor kitchen. So a building outdoors where they have 3 food items, 1 or 2 drink items. And this is the main draw. People, it's like food sharing styles. And so you can walk around tasting all these awesome foods that are specific to the country that you are in. During the Food and Wine Festival, they add even more countries. So countries like Greece that don't have a year-round pavilion in Epcot will have a stand. Brazil, Hawaii. I realize that's not a country, but Hawaii has a stand. Australia. So yeah, that's how the countries are incorporated. Also, there are characters that are kind of tagged to a country. Think like Beauty and the Beast in France. Think Mary Poppins in Great Britain. And for the Flower and Garden Festival, there will be topiaries, uh, of these characters that are placed in their country.
Sweet.
Anything I left out?
I don't think so, but we should probably talk about like what is always offered at a festival. And
Yeah.
those are things like you mentioned, food stands always there, depending on the number. Like you said, I think Food and Wine has the most different food stands. They also give you a passport, which you brought. Thank you, Show and Tell. Thank you, Vanna.
Yes, the passport, free. It's at like the stand at the entrance. So grab one or like kind of scattered throughout the park, grab one because what this has in it is the menu for every stand. And so you can kind of use this to plan, where you want to eat and where you want to skip. But also, if you can't get close enough to see the menu on the stand, you have it in your hand and there's pictures. You'll want to try everything. And then other thing about the food stands I want to make sure to mention, do not be intimidated if there's a line. They know how to like whip that food out fresh but fast. And so I would say if you have your heart set on a food item, get in line. Kate's smiling. She's about to rain on my parade. Go.
So when I went to Food and Wine in September of last year, I waited 35 minutes for 4 tortellinis, 4 little torts that are you can just get at like Publix frozen section. 35 minutes in the smoldering heat. So I would somewhat agree with that. My experiences have been inconsistent, I would say. So why don't you, before you get in the line, take a minute and just see how that line is progressing. Some of them move very fast. Some of them, whether especially in the beginning parts of the festival, like when they just start that festival, they could have a learning curve with just producing rapid fire food.
One more thing about Passport, and then we'll continue on with things that are true for every festival. Hot take number 3, and you said I'd be good cop. Um, One thing that changed, maybe like right before COVID, the festival Passport used to have stickers that were like passport stamps. And so when you visited a country and you had some food, you could give yourself a sticker. And I think even before that, the stand had a physical stamp that you could stamp your passport. They got rid of that and I hate it. I absolutely loved because I am a list checker. As soon as I see a list, I need to do everything on it. And I wanted to earn every sticker. And so I dearly miss
Yeah, that's a bummer. That's such like an easy, fun thing to just offer because we're spending so much money on all the food anyways.
that.
Bring back the stickers, Disney, if you're ever going to listen to this episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about passports, food stands. Another thing that you see often with festivals, regardless of the one that you're seeing or you're going to, is concert series. Eat It to the Beat is one of them. And they're usually in the late afternoon. Sometimes they're in the American Pavilion, that large theater. Other times they're in those smaller little concert stages throughout. Like I'm thinking Germany has one, the UK has one, Canada might have one. So there's a variety of concert series that you can find at all of them. So no matter which one you pick, you will see live music.
Um, Fun fact, maybe not fact, fun recollection, when we were there for Kate's wedding, we were walking around EPCOT. We looked over at the biggest stage, which is in the America Pavilion, and we saw Kenny G performing. And it was just so awesome to stumble upon that and enjoy Kenny G for a minute. Never thought I would go to a Kenny G concert.
Yeah, I have no plans to. That's cool. When I was at the Flower and Garden Festival a week or 2 ago, 98 Degrees was playing, which talk about a throwback there. And Nick Lachey was there. And the line, I think, had to be back, starting in America, going all the way back towards like Morocco area. Like it was so long for 98 Degrees. So if you do see an artist or a band that you like, they have options where you can book a dining reservation that gives you preferred seating. I would look into that. That's probably your easiest way of getting a good seat. That way you can still enjoy your day without having to line up insanely early for someone that you want to see. Because if not, if it's very popular, like a Boys to Men, 98 Degrees, something like that, you're going to be lining up very early and not moving all day.
Nope. And again, the concert schedule is on the EPCOT website.
Yes, that is your friend. Another thing we've probably talked kind of about throughout these episodes, the scavenger hunt. This is probably my favorite thing that happens every single festival.
Agreed.
You can either do the free version, which is just like for Food and Wine, you just find Remy in every single country. And it's fun because they always move where Remy is. And I have like vivid memories of you and I like running through different countries being like, I got him, there he is, found him. But then you can also do a paid version that we talked about before where you pay, I think it's like what, $11.95 we discovered to the exact cent. And you get a booklet. And then when you finish the booklet, you get a prize for it, which is really fun for kids. But you don't have to do that. You can still just enjoy. And then for every festival, it's a different character. You mentioned, I think, last week's episode. So Remy's is for Food and Wine. Who's the bee that was at Flower and Garden?
What's his name? I don't remember his name.
Yeah, someone comment the name. And for the arts, it is Figment.
Hidden in Famous Paintings.
Yes. And then do you know the holiday one?
Chip and Dale? Hiding with holiday food, like a candy cane, or they might have switched it to Olaf.
Oh, it is Olaf. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Yep.
right.
If you
Okay.
want to see the scavenger hunt prize show and tell, watch our Disney with Kids episode where we shared some of it.
Oh yeah, the good and the bad. Because it's not always, it changes every year. It's not always maybe worth the price.
Yep.
It
Do your
depends on you.
research or go into the gift shop and take a look at it and decide
You
if it's
can
worth
see, yes, you can see what the prize is before you commit to the astronomical $11.95.
it.
Okay, so the last thing that's always happening with a festival is merch, of course, whether it's ears, shirts, spirit jerseys. I don't know. You're
Pins.
pointing to some, what I can't see, like a
Pins.
pins. Yes, a variety. They change every year. They say the year, so you can collect them all. Okay, so that is pretty much all the things that are typical and consistent with every single one, but all four of them are unique in their own right. So, what are some of the differences of the four?
Yeah, so let's start with Festival of the Arts. So obviously it's art themed. The food will be art themed. The food will be colorful. This is the only time I've ever drank beer with glitter in it. There are art-centric activities. One of my favorite things is there is a giant mural and you are given a color of paint and a number, and you find 3 squares with that number and color with your paint. And because I am like a little slightly OCD, I take my paint and I like correct where other people have gone outside of the lines of their box. I also just feel bad wasting the paint I don't use, so I go through and I correct other people's paint.
Yeah, it is
Uh,
like a paint by number situation.
yep, a giant paint by number.
Yes.
There are artists drawing chalk art on the
Mhm.
pavement and
Incredible artists, by the way, like
incredible
so
artists.
insanely lifelike and amazing. Please stop and take a second and look at them. Um, it is truly spectacular. These are also all not in World Showcase. They're typically in the main area hub of
hmm
Epcot.
hmm And then scattered throughout, there are art stands. So artists have come, they've brought their Disney themed art, and people really do go to these festivals. I think like more locals and shop for art. I see people carrying around, okay, and Kate, I see people carrying around giant like canvases. I have not wanted to try to figure out how to get that home, so I haven't bought art, but it's really cool to wander with your food and your drink and wander around and look at the art.
Yeah, I've gotten to not the originals, they're like photocopies blown up, two prints that I'm obsessed with. And one of them's in my daughter's room, one of them is in my living room. And what's really cool about this festival is not only do you get to shop for amazing artwork, a lot of the times they have the artists that made that original artwork there and they will sign your artwork. So I've gotten both of mine signed, which I really love. I think that's just a really cool memento. And you can get them shipped from Epcot. Like instead of just bringing them home, you can have them shipped in the mail. I put my artwork in like the Disney to go bags and then just brought that as my carry on.
Anything else on the art festival?
I don't think so. I'll quickly touch the Flower and Garden one. So, because I was just there. So, when you think about Flower and Garden, it's exactly what the name sounds like. There are pieces of topiaries, sculptures, giant lifelike characters in gardens and flowers. It's absolutely gorgeous, especially because it's springtime. It's very green. It's very pretty. The whole festival is beautiful. The food is pretty. This festival has the most vegan and vegetarian options. Just think very green, healthy, really great quality of food, but just more like healthier, fruity. A lot of the food and beverages this year, especially, was like fruity stuff, fruity beers, fruity wines, fruity desserts. And then something really cool they always have with this one is a butterfly garden. Also not in World Showcase, more towards like Figment area. But that's really neat, especially with kids going through there and seeing all the beautiful butterflies and just finding the different topiaries around. You see like all your favorite characters. And they do like Lady and the Tramps featured in Italy. Like they put all the Disney characters in their respective countries with the Flower and Gardens, which I think is cool.
Yeah. And I feel like in a way, this festival kind of celebrates the ride Living with the Land,
Mm-hmm.
which is just a ride through an amazing greenhouse. So even like during these festivals, that ride will have like kind of features within it, displays set up aligned with the theme of the festival. So don't skip living with the land.
And they will take the ingredients from that ride where they're actually growing vegetables and fruits and putting it in the food that they're selling at the festival booths. And
Yep.
like you said on the ride, they will show you like, oh, this is featured at this booth. So you
Yep.
can know that if you're getting like a strawberry shortcake, the strawberries are literally from Living with the Land, which I think is super
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, or all the edible flowers.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
So Food and Wine Festival. So this one, I don't know if this is my favorite, but it's special to me because the first Disney half marathon I ever did was the Food and Wine Festival marathon, and it dumped us out into the festival, and we had like a voucher for free food. Like this was 10 years ago. They are not this giving with the Reese's anymore. But I didn't try the food then because I thought I was gonna black out after running my first half marathon. But then now I eat all the foods. Anyway, so again, this festival focuses very heavily on the food, like we mentioned, extra food stands, extra countries, and also on like wines and drinks to pair with that. The merchandise will be food focused. Think like cheese boards, wine
Mm-hmm.
glasses, fun dishes. My kids got for the scavenger hunt, they got cereal bowls. And there are some food demonstrations, different cooking and stuff. I feel like post COVID, those may have come down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but maybe we'll see those crop back up. There's also just more, I think, like food experimentation. Like
Mm-hmm.
they added that brew lab that's Muppet themed, where they have like a pickle smoothie or something like that, or they'll have macaroni and cheese 3 ways. Just more kind of fun experimentation, and a lot of Remy, and sometimes Beauty from Beauty and the Beast Belle tend to be kind of the star of this show.
Yes. You made me remember that I've only done one Disney run. It was a 10K and it was with the Food and Wine, and I have a shirt for that. So yes, that makes it special. I totally forgot about that. That's the day I walked the most steps in my entire life. I think like 40,000 steps because we did the 10K and then we went immediately to EPCOT, which is the largest foot traffic park, and just going
Hmm.
around all the festival booths. It was
Yeah.
insane.
Festival of Holidays, you hit this one because this is the only one I haven't been to and I really want to go.
So yeah, I've done this one. I did it either 2020 or 2021. It was during COVID because we still had to wear masks when we were walking. Like you could take your mask off if you were standing at a table and eating, but as soon as you were done and you were moving, you had to put your mask back on. And I remember loving the mask because it was so cold that day. It was like in the 50s, which is so not normal for Disney in Orlando. And it was on Christmas too. We went to on Christmas. It was insane. But yeah, so Festival of the Holidays, like the name suggests, it is during the holiday season and it celebrates all the different traditions and cultures and holidays that are celebrated during that like November, December, January timeframe. And it varies by obviously different countries. So they have a lot of the traditions and songs, and all the bands that are playing are doing more like folky, traditional holiday music. They do have a candlelight procession that is their typical like music thing that's happening at night. What will happen is they'll get different celebrities, usually ones that have to do with like Disney. So I think like Josh that plays Olaf came for one of them, different versions like that, which is cool too. That gets a pretty big line as well. I have never seen the candlelight processional, but I know that if that's something that's important to you with like your holidays and religion, it's really nice.
I think there's like a televised version. I think you can watch it on Disney Plus.
Yes, I have seen that. Yep. So again, check all the details out on the website, the dates for every single festival each year. It usually gets announced 3 or 4 months before it happens. And they'll release the food booths and the menus early as well. So make sure you look all that up. And then what the demonstrations or exhibits activities are for each one.
Yeah. All right. So some other top tips for
Yep.
maximizing your day. We covered grab a passport to help you make a plan and see the menu. And again, RIP stickers, I blame Bob Chapek.
I would say also make sure that you like have the plan, study what's going on in advance. Like we just said, make sure you know what you want to prioritize because the lines can get long for each of the festival booths. So just make sure you have like, okay, I definitely want to hit this one. This one might be worth skipping if it's really long, or things like that, knowing it in advance is super helpful. And knowing where they are located and check the map, because I have missed a few where I'm like, I definitely want to hit this one, and then I walk right past it because it's tucked away or hidden. Um, so make sure you know where you're going beforehand. Makes it easier.
And then Epcot has a lot of really amazing restaurants, but consider that you might fill up snacking at these food stands and consider skipping a dining reservation this time or making a reservation for an early breakfast like character dining at Garden Grill.
Yes, love that idea. I have definitely done the least amount of sit down dining at Epcot compared to all the other parks, simply because I'm always there when a festival is happening, and I would much rather take my money and spread it out across multiple booths and try different things and just hit one restaurant. So I've actually haven't really eaten at a lot of them. So this is probably the
Agreed.
time that you don't want to.
Yeah, there's so many that I'm like, I should try that, but I'm going to do festival food.
Yeah.
If you're into drinking alcohol on your vacation, there will be plenty available. There will be beer flights, there will be wine, there will be cocktails. Again,
Slushies.
yeah, slushies, boba tea in the drinks. But again, study the menu. So you're not just kind of like settling on what's at the current booth. Like don't drink alcohol you don't enjoy.
There's so many YouTubers that will go to the festivals like the first day it launches and try all the food, all the drinks. Consider watching one of those beforehand. They'll do a good job of being like, "Ooh, this is actually really sweet." And so what happened to Leanne, where she had to pour her drink out, hopefully doesn't happen to you.
Yep. Yep. And then you will be doing many, many little transactions throughout the day.
Mm.
So if you are going to use cash, consider buying a gift card. Disney encourages this. Obviously, they don't want to get all those credit card transaction fees. They don't want to take a long time processing cash. And so throughout the festival, you will find actually really cute on theme gift cards with a wrist strap. And so what I have done is when we were going to use cash, we just loaded it all onto the gift card, and then my husband and I would pass the gift card back and forth depending on who was going out to the stand to buy the food.
And you can get those at what, like the Creation Shop, like the big giant Epcot store.
And a lot of the little pop-up festival merchandise stores.
That's a great, great tip. I see a lot of
Yeah.
people do that.
Yeah. This is also helpful if you're trying to stick to a budget. So if you're like, we're spending X money of dollars on food, I can't even guess at a number. And we're gonna stick to that. Load up the gift card, use the gift card. When the gift card's done, you're done. But like, don't fear. If you have money left over, you can use that anywhere at Disney or keep it and bring it back. It is just a gift card.
Fair. Let's talk about merch. So we mentioned how they have specific merch for each festival that changes every single year. If you are someone who is interested in buying said merch, I would recommend doing it early in the day. I know it's kind of annoying to have to carry it around, but if there's like a coveted one, like a popcorn bucket that's made for that festival, I've seen ears that were designed for Flower and Garden specifically this year. When I went to Creation Shop to buy them, they were not there anymore. So if you see something online or through YouTube or something that you've seen that you're like, I want to have, do that right away, because it may be not there when you go to buy at the end of the day. Although I will say, for me, I am way more likely to buy stuff if I have some alcohol in me. So I don't know if
Yeah.
that's a good thing or not to be exploring the booths before you buy.
Yeah, I know that if I go to the festival towards the end of its run, excuse me, I'm choking on my water.
This happens to you a lot. This is like
Yeah,
not the
it
first
happens
time
a
I've seen
lot.
you choke on water.
Um, I know that if I go to the festival towards the end of its run, I probably won't get a festival pin. They're
Yeah,
probably like sold out, which stinks. Popcorn
fair.
bucket, definitely if you're into those really cool popcorn buckets. And we are not talking about like a paper bag or a round bucket. We are talking this. This is a popcorn bucket. It looks like a Buzz Lightyear toy, but it is a popcorn bucket. Those will go really fast. I remember one year for the art festival, the popcorn bucket was the like glass pyramid with figment with a rainbow, and the popcorn inside was rainbow colored. Those were the line for those was crazy.
Insane. I remember that. I remember seeing videos on Instagram and other social media sites that it was just like you're waiting 4 hours for a popcorn bucket with figment in it.
Will my kids like it?
Good
So,
question. Yeah, you go because you have older kids.
yeah, so again, like the scavenger hunt my kids are into.
Hmm.
And I try to hold off on getting the prize at the end, although you can get it at the beginning so that they feel like they've earned it. A lot of the festival food may not be what your kids enjoy eating. It's certainly going to be a bit more adventurous. And
Hmm.
so there's always the normal counter service, basic pizza type food, or for me and my kids, because they like pizza, pasta, I will look right to the Italy menu and see is this something that my kids would like tortellini.
Hmm.
Um, there's always a playground on sometimes they have an extra one on theme
Hmm.
with the festival, but there is a playground over by Test Track. Epcot's one of the only parks that has like kind of a real playground, and my kids could hang out there for a long, long time. So that's a great place to let them run around, do what they want to do. And then like other great places in Epcot for kids are Moana's Journey of Water. My kids love it. They love it at night when it's lit up. So it's cool to see during the day, cool to see at night. Your kids will get wet. It is about playing with water. So, bring a change of clothes. And then there's still a ton of great rides for kids in Epcot. There's Remy's Adventure, there's the Frozen ride, there's the Seas with Nemo and Friends, including the aquarium where they can like see hammerhead sharks and manatees. And
Your favorite ride in Mexico?
yeah, my favorite ride, Three Caballeros. My kids love that ride. And like Beauty and the Beast sing along. I mean, yeah, there's still a ton of stuff for kids and for adults. Guardians. Do Guardians before you've had too much alcohol. Do Test Track before you've had too much alcohol. Don't do Mission Space at all because we've already established this thing.
Avoid that one like the plague. I also, we mentioned before, it's really fun to go to Living with the Land if you're doing Flower and Garden with your kids, and then they get to learn about the ingredients that are going into some of these food booths. I will just, I guess, reiterate what you've said about the food being more adventurous, especially with Flower and Garden and the arts. The arts one, you mentioned you had like glitter in your beer. It focuses really on making the food presentation look really nice and pretty and artistic, which sometimes is fun for kids. Sometimes it scares kids. I think they try to make that one, like a lot of the food, really colorful, which is cool. The Flower and Garden one, like I mentioned, it has a lot of vegan and vegetarian options. And I'm thinking there was one, it might have been at the arts, where it was a key lime pie and it was deconstructed and it looked not like a normal key lime pie at all. So just let your kids know in advance the food that might taste like normal food to you might look slightly different in their presentation. And then you mentioned a playground. There is, at least for the Flower and Garden, they had a second playground outside. It's near Figment area, shaded, very crowded for kids. And there's also one indoors at the end of Mission Space. So while you and I don't recommend riding that ride, we do recommend taking your kids to the end back entrance, like where people exit, and there's an indoor play area there.
Hmm. Yeah, and also Epcot is very low key great for meeting characters.
Yes.
So there are a lot of characters. There's very frequently Donald in Mexico, Belle in France, Sleeping Beauty in France, Mary Poppins, Alice in Wonderland in Great Britain, um, Anna and Elsa in Norway,
Mhm.
Mulan in China,
Winnie the Pooh and Mary Poppins in London or UK.
Jasmine and Aladdin in uh, Morocco.
There's an indoor waiting one, which most of these are outside in the World Showcase, but there is one where it's indoors and it never has a long line, and you meet Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy. And what I like about this one is you wait one time and then you meet them back to back. So you're not waiting in three
Right.
separate lines to meet those three characters. It's really great. It's like in that central hub location of Epcot.
And then at the front of the park is Pluto.
Yes, and Moana near her water area.
Oh, yeah. Lots of really great character. Plus, there's the character dining too, which we'll just save for another episode.
Now that we've explained what you can find at all of them, do you have a favorite festival? I know you haven't been to the holiday one, but out of the three that you have been
No,
to, do you have a favorite one or a least favorite one?
I think I would still say my favorite. Now I'm having a hard time. I used to feel very strongly that Food and Water was my favorite because I liked all the extra food stands and just to focus on food. But they all focus on food. And the
Mhm.
topiaries, however we decide it was pronounced, are really pretty. So
Mhm.
it's, but I like how colorful the art festival is. I don't know. I don't think I can pick favorite.
So
I don't
then
know if I can
I
pick
guess
a
you don't even
least
have a
favorite.
least favorite then.
I don't think I can pick a least favorite. Maybe the art festival because it's so short. So I like
Yeah.
get frustrated that I like have a hard time getting to it.
So in terms of popularity, I think everyone has heard of Food and Wine. Like that is
Mhm.
the one that if you're gonna try and go to, I feel like everyone does, especially if you're local. And let me point out that if you want to avoid the lines as much as possible, try and do your EPCOT festival day not on a weekend because a lot of locals will go to EPCOT on the weekends just for the festivals in that mid to late afternoon. And you can see so many people, it gets very crowded then. So try and go on a weekday or when the festival booths open in the morning, afternoonish before that evening rush.
Yeah. And I feel like the first day of the festival is also very busy because weren't we there on a first day? It was a Friday and it was crazy.
Yeah, and that's when like all the influencers go and all the people that
Yeah.
have just been so excited to like go back for it. So yes, that first weekend is also extremely busy. Okay, so my favorites, I think it's a tie between now that I've been, I'm gonna say the arts, Festival of the Arts. I love all the art. I really go to each of the art booths and I literally will go through each thing of art and check out every single painting because you can find such hidden gems through there, and each artist has a different style. So I don't know, I just find it so fun. Like I'm one of those people that goes to like the um like print on demand at all the deluxe resorts where you can print different artworks. I will go through and just see what's available. So yes, art is my favorite one. And that's because I also like the paint by numbers. I like the chalk paint. I like everything around that whole festival. Not necessarily the food. For me, I guess the food's like less important. I think just the ambiance and the experiences are very fun for me. Flower and Garden's probably my second favorite because it's beautiful, it's stunning. I wish they had topiaries and gardens all year round. Like it just adds to the experience overall. I don't know why they wouldn't just keep them. They're so
But it would be
pretty.
special.
I know, but fine. I the holiday one, it was okay. I feel like the food was the worst at that one for me in my just experience. And then I honestly think Food and Wine is overrated. It's so freaking hot. I know we talked about this before, but I'm going to reiterate again. It is so hot. It's in September. Like either it's hot or there's a hurricane coming. Either way, not fun for Food and Wine. And lately, my experience has been long lines. I know we have different experiences, but that's been mine at the recent ones. So I just feel like the food has gotten better at the other ones, and there's not a lot to do at Food and Wine besides eat, where I really like all the activities that are featured at the other ones.
All
That might be a
right.
hot take. I don't know. Let me know if you are listening or watching this. Comment below and tell us I'm wrong or I'm right. Maybe you guys agree with me. Okay, so my game for you, hopefully it'll be short, and it is on theme. Let me pull it up. So I want you to tell me for this game when the EPCOT festivals started. So tell me in order, the earliest one to come out to the latest one.
Okay. Well, I would assume the Food and Wine Festival is first.
Okay, that would be wrong.
Oh. Okay. It's Flower and Garden first.
Yep, Flower and Garden came out to EPCOT April 29th in 1994.
Oh. Okay.
I
Um.
will say trick question. So they're debuting in EPCOT, but Food and Wine actually debuted in Disney Springs in 1981,
Oh,
but it
okay.
didn't get moved to EPCOT till later.
And then there also isn't there a Food and Wine Festival in Disneyland, in California
Yes.
Adventure? Okay.
Okay, so Flower and Garden's the oldest.
Then I'm gonna say Food and Wine.
Yep, that one debuted in EPCOT September 28th, 1996.
Okay. And then I will say Festival of the Holidays. Just so that's easy. Okay.
Yep, that debuted the same year as Food and Wine, November 29th, 1996.
And then yeah, so Festival of the Arts is newest.
And pretty new. So that one didn't debut until January 13th, 2017. So from 1996 all the way to 2017 without Festival of the Arts.
2017. I'll have to go back and look at my pins and see if I feel like I went to it really early. Maybe I went to the
Did you go on the
first
first
one.
year?
I don't know. I have to dig through my stuff and find out.
That's cool. Okay, well, hopefully that helps you guys understand more about like what the festivals are at Epcot, why they're so popular, the differences between them, the similarities. Hopefully it gets you excited if you're going to be going to one soon. Please let us know. Again, questions, comments, concerns, hot takes, DM us, email us, let us know.
Yeah. And thank you so much for listening to Play It By Ears podcast. We hope that you will continue to join us as we venture into this unknown.
I've been Kate.
And I've been Leanne.
I don't need a map to find